Section, please, have a motion. Mr. Curry,
Second.
second by Mr. Wilkerson. It is approved.
Okay. Item A, Marshall University student Kennedy Woodall to perform observation at LCHS the second semester. Item B, Marshall University student Leanna Myers to complete internship in school counseling at Duval Pre-K 8 the fall 2015 semester. Item C, an agreement with APL Associates to provide a two-day administrative workshop, June the 30th and July the 1st, 2015, according to the terms of the agreement. And this is going to be paid for through staff development funds instead of the special education funds. Make that correction, please. Item D, a contract with Dr. Casey Lawson to evaluate the 2014-2015 21st Century After School Program according to the terms of the contract. Item E, adoption of revised policy effective immediately on public review from February the 24th, 2015. And that is policy 5423, the embedded credit. Item F, school volunteers who on occasion may also serve as bus chaperones or provide transportation for students to and from athletic events, academic competitions, or school outings who have provided proof of private vehicle liability insurance and have completed volunteer orientation. Item G is out-of-state travel for the following personnel. Ashley Butler to Nashville, Tennessee, June 21st through July the 2nd, 2015, to attend case training, and that's paid for through the vocational funds. Item H, I'm asking that item H be deleted from the agenda due to my employment will end June 30th, 2015. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any comments?
I have a
Ms.
comment, as usual, never been shy on that part, but I think Trish has done us an amazing job here. And I feel like the board has put more on her shoulders than what we should have. I think a lot of times we've given her a lot of busy work that was unnecessary. I don't think we have given her the support that she deserves. And I hate to see her go, and I'm kind of anxious to see who's going to be put in her spot to try to fill those shoes, because I don't think that anybody can. I'm very dissatisfied with our board as a whole. I think we're very dysfunctional, and I would like to see Trish stay.
I'd just like to thank Trish for her service. I know being superintendent is an easy job. It can be, and oftentimes is overwhelming, but this is kind of a surprise to us all until today. We were aware that she chose to do this, but I certainly understand that. If we were in this business for a while, we get to the time where maybe it's time for us to do something else, and certainly understand it. Just on me personally, I want to just thank you for all you've done, and I know you put in a lot of time and effort, and we certainly appreciate that on behalf of the board, and the students in the county, and everybody. I'd just like to thank you for all you've done. If you choose to go home and retire, or whatever you choose to do, you certainly wish you well. Okay, anybody else have anything else? Okay, all right, so let's go to the administrative section then. What we want, I asked for approval, I will read through administrative items A through G, and is that an all yes vote?
Yes.
Scotty, are you there?
Here.
Okay, he's a yes. Sometimes I'm not sure he's there. Okay, all yes vote on administrative.
I'm always here.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, let's go to finance, please. Do you have a motion?
I mean,
Carol made the motion, second? All right, Baker made the second, prove he's with us. Okay, Bertie.
Okay, item A, scheduled invoices totaling $958,545.47, and they are attached. Invoices are available for public inspection in the county office. Item B, to approve funding totaling $25,000 to the Lincoln County Baseball Program for field improvements, including lighting. Item C, a county pension for the following retired employees under option plan A. It's funded through our excess levy. And that's all I have for finance.
You might have any comments?
Yeah,
Mr.
I
Wells?
do. On approving the funding of $25,000 for the baseball program, are we fairly sure that we're going to get the rest of the funding for that?
Well, you know, we
Is county commission going to come through for
well,
25?
I can't speak for
I know you can't speak for that, but you know,
That's our hope and desire, you know. We cut it, when I went and spoke with Bertie about it at first, in order, you know, Mr. Lambert, Coach Lambert came and he said he needed $95,000, so we began to try to figure out, you know, how we're gonna compute that, so we thought if we could come up with 25, and if it were matched by the county commission, that'd give us 50. Mr. Snyder has found 10 out at the high school, and that gave us 60. And based on what Mr. Lambert had told us, the 7 legislators that represent our areas here had indicated that they could come up with $5,000 apiece, so that's 95. Whether all those pieces fall together or not, I don't know.
baseball's one of my favorite sports. It is my only sport, really, and I'm interested.
But, you know, when I know when Greg was talking to us, it was always like, you know, he went to the legislators, and what's the board doing? And, you know, he went, commission, well, we'll do it if the board is. So it always came back to us to kind of initiate the thing. So, you know, we've kicked it off, and hopefully all the other pieces will fall in there.
When I say it's the only one I'm interested in, I'm personally interested in as a spectator.
I know you're a baseball fan. So I hope that all that comes through. Obviously, the commission's got some of their own issues, but, you know, maybe revenues will come flowing in, and they'll be
We'll
able
have to get funding from 4 different sources, and the way it's been planned.
well, yeah, us, once again, Mr. Snyder was able.
Legislature.
Right.
And we have no letters, tying them to this office. I mean, the first time I heard about this was like 2 weeks ago when we had a meeting, it was
Well,
last week.
the first I ever heard was when Mr. Lambert made the second presentation, when he told us that he had gone to the commission, and, you know, once again, he relayed that they had said, well, if the board does it, we'll match them, we'll challenge them, kind of thing. And then that's when he went into talking about the legislators and what they had obligated, if the board, you know, did something. Nobody ever gave them, you know, monetary figure of what the board needed to do. So once again, it just seemed to me, doing some rudimentary math there, that's how you come up with the amount of money. So, you know, I'm optimistic that everybody else will come through. Like I said, Mr. Snyder was able to come up with it. We were 10 short, and he was able to, I think, figure out how he could do that. So,
Just look at what all they've accomplished. I don't mean that the other sports haven't accomplished a lot, but they raised an awful lot of money.
well, they've done a tremendous job. Just like, you know, all of them out there, you know, softball, what they've done is tremendous. But at the same time, you know, the board has provided them with funding along the way. Maybe just not in chunks like this, but they've done things. The board's done things for soccer and everybody else, and we're in a band. We're trying to do what we can, and ideally, they will come when we do more for football. But, you know, we don't have the funds to do all these things. We've had to piecemeal, and I've said many times, you know, our campus is a work in progress out there. And then, of course, we got other schools here that are trying to accomplish things too, like West Hamlin here. Of course, theirs is a good one, it doesn't cost us anything, at least at this point. But anyway, I'm hoping, Larry.
I'm by no means bucking this at all, because I want to see those kids have this. It just seems like it just kind of hit us all of a sudden with no proof that the rest of the money is going to come. I would just like to see that, but no, I'm not bucking giving these kids the money. I think they deserve it. It's just kind of like sudden.
Well, you heard it the same night that we did when he came to us. Because remember, the first time Mr. Lambert came, he started off his conversation with us by saying, I'm not here asking for any money. That's the first time when he told us all about all the accomplishments they had made. But then, I guess, as time evolved there, I think that's when he spoke to the commission and he spoke to the legislators and things weren't panning out the way he had hoped. And that's why he, I guess, was forced to come back to us, because everybody kept putting it off on, what's the board going to do? And, obviously it's a Board of Education facility, and it's something that I think we all feel is, we want, you want as much as everybody does. And so we've done our part here, and I'm hopeful and optimistic that the others will do it too. We'll be able to drive by there and they'll be lit up. Okay, if nothing further, is that on the administrative items? No other questions? Is that an all yes vote?
Yes.
All yes on that. Okay, let's go to the personnel section, please. Do you have a motion? Mr. Curry, second by Mr. Wilkerson. Agreed.
Okay. Section A is for the employment of professional personnel in the issuance of first-class command and the FDIC clearance. Section B is for the transfer of service personnel. Section C is the employment of service personnel. Section D is the employment of extracurricular athletic personnel. Section E is for a leave of absence. The time is noted under the effective date. Any questions?
Anybody have anything? Now, Chris, all of these extracurriculars are for this current school year.
Just to finish up this, yes, we will be posting for it the next year.
Next year,
Yes.
that's going to be next month or
Yes,
something?
very soon. We're working on posting it now, last few days, so we'll get another posting soon.
Very good. Okay, if nobody has any other questions on personnel, is that a motion, please? Or is that an all yes vote?
Yes.
We've got two areas of motions there, got me confused. I thought I'd forgotten to do that. Okay, now we're down under comments and concerns. First, the CEFP Steering Committee. Who's the author of this one?
That's me. I just wanted to take a couple minutes this evening to let you know, let the board know that we have scheduled our first CEFP Steering Committee meeting for April the 23rd. We're going to hold that initial meeting here at the central office. And what I'd like to share with you is a list of the recommendations that we've been given by principals who would represent each one of the communities. And I ask you to look at the list and to possibly give us some additional recommendations for people that you know, or may know out there who would want to serve in this capacity.
Now, are all the principals represented here, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay.
All the principals, you'll see all the principals represented. You'll see a few teachers in here that were recommended by the principals. Typically, these are teachers who have students that may be in the school system as well as just, some local community members who had a desire to serve on the committee.
Now, have all of these individuals indicated that they want to participate?
Yes. So they've all been contacted and have said that they'd like to participate.
Okay. So at this point, you're saying, if the board has, any board members have recommendations, they should submit them to you, let you know who they are?
If you'd let me or Mrs. Lucas know who they are, we'll contact them.
Yeah, I guess everybody can look through the different areas and see if there's anyone you can think of in those areas and contact them, please, before you make a recommendation to make sure they want to serve. They're on there, we want them to feel enthusiastic about it. Now, after we make any suggestions or recommendations, and they say, well, will this be something that the board will act on as far as revising the membership, or is that necessary?
That wouldn't be necessary for you to revise the membership, I don't believe.
Well, you can let us know if you think
Right.
so. I didn't know if you had to submit something
I don't think so.
into the the State Department or something like that. All right. Anything else? Okay, any time frame on that, you know?
We would hope by the end of May.
I mean, to let you know that.
Oh, any time within the next 3 weeks would work.
Okay, 3 weeks. 3 weeks, tell you.
We did that.
1 week would be great.
Be much better.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
3 weeks is the longest time. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, number 2, middle school soccer. I had asked that this be put on here, we had representatives come to speak to us here a couple of weeks ago about this, and in order to make some type of decision and see what direction we want to go in, I think there's some things we need to do, and everybody can help me out here if you could. But I think everybody understands that soccer is very popular now, and it's something that it's more and more young people seem to be interested in. So and I also understand what you're all saying about the leading into the high school programs, and obviously that's true of virtually anything. We agree with that 100%. But what I'd like to see us do, and I don't know who you want to do this, have to do this, Trish, if you want to, or delegate it to someone else, but could we do a survey of each of the 4 schools? And one thing would be, as far as the facility, all the soccer will occur in the fall. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the fall, I guess we'd have to ask them, do they have fields that can accommodate soccer, and can they accommodate both boys and girls? Because I guess the only conflict at that time would be football, apparently, at most of the middle schools. And some, I don't know whether they had JV football teams or 7th grade teams, and then others. I don't know. That's why I think if we could just check with each of the 4 areas to see as far as the use of the facility to play on, if that's a problem for them or not, and if they could work around that. The other thing is the number of students that would be necessary to field a team.
11.
Okay, now how many are out there at a given time?
11.
11.
You can play down to 7, but you
11.
start the game with 11. But you can't go down to 7, somebody's hurt, tired, for whatever reason. They stop the game at either 7 or when you hit 7.
Okay. Now, but what I'm thinking about, now, I don't know anything about this. I admit it.
That's right, Ken.
But, like a typical, or another sport, in order to practice and things, you scrimmage. Like, if I got a football scrimmage, there's usually going to be 11 guys on each side there. So, I have to have I guess you have to, but ideally you'd want to have at least 22 people who are mobile enough to play so they can scrimmage one another. Is this true? How many players do you have to have in soccer to do that?
That's nice, but that's not required. I mean, I've had teams of 15 girls. And you just adjust it down to where you play 7 on 7, so you still get the same experience going back and forth. And you may adjust the field some, so they still get the same experience, but they're not killing themselves going back and forth. So you adjust your training environment to the number of kids you have and your facilities. Because you can't always practice on a full-size football field, which is a minimum soccer field. You practice on something different, then you step up to the full-size field. Or when we go to another county, their field's 20 yards longer and 15 feet wider. You just got to deal with it.
Okay. Well, what I'm thinking, at some point, we have to, we're going to have, the other thing we'd have to do is see what interest there is at these schools.
But there's a good caliber that you will have in 2 weeks, is they're doing a sign-up last week and this week for the youth league. Duval had 22 kids sign up 6th, 7th, 8th grade for the middle school soccer, for the youth league soccer.
Yeah. But now, what day does that, when do they play?
I think they start the 13th.
Well, I mean, what day of the week, do they always play on Saturday?
They only play on Saturdays I take it back. Most of the games are on Saturdays at the high school soccer field. Sometimes the middle school games will be adjusted to during the week so they can have the full use of the field, not at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they can do it in the evening that way. So they adjust based on the weather
Okay, but when do they practice?
throughout the week.
Well,
It's-
but do the youth league kids, they practice throughout the week also?
Yeah. I think their bylaws say they have to practice twice a week to play the game on the weekend.
Because I mean, once again, I'm trying to learn more about this, but, you know, because I know everybody gets excited and comes out there on Saturday and watches their kids play. But does everybody get so enthusiastic that they're willing to take them to practice?
Yeah, I'm coaching Zara's team this year, and I think you can coach one session a week if it's an hour, over an hour, or you can do 2 sessions a week.
But what about the kids, the people that aren't coaches, Sean? You know, they're just, you know, I want my kid to play soccer, and I'm gonna have to get him there.
Well, they make the rule for the league there that you have to practice so much before you allowed to play that weekend. You just can't show up for the game on Saturday. So the coaches are protected to start teaching the skills to kids. They know that they're capable of doing a little bit of exercise.
Well, I agree with that. What I'm getting at, though, is when we do an interest survey out there at the schools, is that people have to understand that if I want my child to play soccer, girls, boys, whatever it is, that I am willing to make accommodations to get them there this many days a week, or, you know.
See, I think that's understood because the same thing applies to football and
I know.
baseball and basketball. It's just another sport we're adding to the rucksack for the kids to enjoy. The rules are not going to change. You still get the physical, you still have a uniform, you still have a coach that's in charge. It's a school-sponsored event where there's rules and regulations that govern it, and you have to meet these requirements. If you don't meet the requirement to play.
And I agree. All I'm saying is when they do the interest survey, that they need to emphasize that to the kids. That, you know, when you, just like you're up there getting interest to be in the band or whatever else, you're going to say, now this is when you're going to be, you know, saying I'm willing to come out this many days for this certain months of the year. In other words, is but sometimes if we just put an interest survey, would you like to play whatever it is? If you don't spell it out, well, that's going to go through September to November, whenever it is, and you're going to have to practice this many days, and you're playing your game. You know, they need to know all the facts, I guess, in order to see if they're interested, if they're willing to do all the things that they have to do. Because I know they have to do those things, but sometimes it's easy, because, you know, I've seen them out there, yeah, I'll put my name on there, but are they really, you know, have they gone, and do their parents know that they said that they want to do it and all that kind of thing, is all I'm saying. Just to make sure that the interest survey, when we do one, it's an accurate one, and not, you know, that one. And then, if we need to know, you know, is there a facility for them to use, and then we need to know the number of students that are on, that are interested in doing it. Now, would this just be, what grades do you see this be, 6th, 7th, and 8th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And the season, tell me the season length.
Season starts around the 13th of August, give or take there, and it goes to the end of October.
Okay, so middle of August through October.
Yes.
Okay. And so there's a potential there that it could conflict with some of the kids that play football, for boys. I mean.
They would have to decide.
That's what I mean. They're going to
Yes.
say, I'm going to play football or soccer, one or the other. And they'd have
Well, but
to.
now there has been a past in high school where a soccer player was the football kicker. Because the coach realized he had the ability to kick the ball, and Justin Coburn, they picked him up to be the field goal kicker.
Right. Well, that happens in college football all the time. I understand. I'm just trying to, you know, while I'm saying, just try to see the things that we need to know to make a decision. You know, we have places for them to play, and only the schools can let us know that.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, how many students are interested in all that. And then I think you all pointed out, once we get that, and then we can better determine, you know, how many teams we think are really feasible to have, and ideally there'd be several. But if there aren't, then we could make some of those modifications
Yeah.
like you all talked about.
And one of the options is the field at the high school is usable for middle school soccer. I don't schedule games over at that field except on Saturday morning. So from 1 o'clock on Saturday till dark is open if the middle schools need a place to play. I mean, that's what it's for.
And that wouldn't be very difficult in the Hamlin PK school. But, you know, when you're talking about Harts and
Right.
Duval and these others and Guy Valley, you know, I'm just, you know, we just have to think and only they can just tell us that. You know, that's why I think we need to do a survey. It might be possible at Guy and Valley that they might be able to utilize some of West Hamlin. I don't know, maybe they could. There may be some areas there. I don't know, only they know that. All I'm saying, we just need to have some basic information before we can make any decision. And it started with me knowing how many kids run the team. Quit laughing, John. Okay, and then once we know that, we can, I think, if we can get that information in, then we can, gives us a starting point, then we can see, is it feasible to have 4 or 8 teams ideally, I guess? Or can we not do that, but maybe it'd be limited to maybe one school's gonna have a girls' team, but they can't have a boys? Then we have to get into some of those more complicated things. What do we do then? Do they merge the 2 teams or and all that kind of a thing? Or can they function with another school that's close by? And some of the things we've done, like, or at least we talked about the possibility that we were able to do in some of the other sports. But anyway, we just need something to start on, and I think we can just get that much. It'll give us a starting point, and then we can maybe where to go from there. Anybody know of anything else we should try to find out?
Not at this point.
Yeah. If everybody's like me, they don't know that. Okay, that's what I wanted to ask about that. Okay, the only other thing that's not on here, and I wanted to mention, the school calendar. Now, I know Mr. Mukip told us here a week or 2 ago it was due by May the 1st, but any thoughts about that, Jeff?
Well, the sooner the better. Get the board's approval. It's kind of hampering us in terms of trying to plan staff development for our employees this summer. We're going through the textbook adoption right now process. Mr. Pritchard met with the teachers today, the committee. They came away from that meeting, haven't made up their mind what direction they want to go. We'd like to be able to provide an academy around the adoption for our teachers, for the new materials. So, again, the sooner the decision can be made on that calendar, the better for us and our planning purposes.
Well, if everybody can, we've had it now for a couple of weeks to look at, so I know I've bannered it back on my desk numerous times at home. I've taken advantages and disadvantages. But could we try to plan on acting on that at our next meeting a week from today on April the 7th? Everybody feel comfortable? Because we're gonna, like I say, I have my pros and cons, but we're gonna have to decide, like Mr. McGill said, because there are a lot of other things we all have to do. Okay, anything else? Anybody have any other comments? Ms. Coach, you have any?
Well, I think you cheated off my agenda,
I
because
did,
I had
I did.
calendar. I want to go to the school monitoring report, if you all have
Go
other
right ahead.
concerns. This will take a little
Are you
while.
gonna tell us what a monitoring report is?
I am.
Okay. I'm not that, this is something.
I'm going to go up front. I'm going to go up here. Oh, come on, Brenda. You almost have gotten a surprise or something.
Is this what,
No.
no, I thought we were supposed to be opening those, it's like,
No?
that's something else. I saw Mr. Wilkerson opening his, I thought he knew something I didn't know.
I thought that you should discuss this.
You just won't
I
make
didn't
this
do it.
till late, right?
Right, is it,
He came to make sure I did what I said I was going to
She didn't back
do.
out.
He was, yeah, he's never been to one before, so he was afraid I wouldn't.
Hey, Jody, you better get that corrected on that salary schedule.
Oh, yeah, that is terrible error. It is.
Oh, but you sent out a corrected one, did we send?
Yeah, I got sent one. I think I got recent money mixed up.
I heard Mr. Smith wasn't very happy about that.
He's doing well.
Okay.
I'm going to give each of you one of these to look at. We talked about it during my presentation. But this is an actual finished product. And you will see at the top of the form of the report which school that we're looking at. You're welcome. I mean, Jeff, you stop me, jump in at any,
You just keep it rolling.
and,
Everybody else is left.
yeah, nobody wants to hear this. I mean, and, it's.
is
it's
it but it's, OEPA hasn't published it on their
They
website
have not
yet.
published it on the
Okay.
website
I'm
yet.
gonna bail
Okay,
for now.